Yeah, I'm
All
just
right,
starting to do
awesome.
this series. All I'm doing is handing out candy right now too. I'm just sitting by the door.
Good, nice. Yeah, we are live in Facebook. Today is live training number 2 for the 21-day habit challenge, sustainable fat loss and energy. So yeah, we are 1 week into the challenge. We only have 2 more weeks to go. We have 2 mini challenges. The one coming up for this week is the push-up challenge, which is just for 3 days. Again, as you guys should have read in the guide, it's really simple. You just post just you doing some push-ups. It can be even like the easy modified push-ups. It doesn't matter how many you do to qualify for the mini challenge, just but what does qualify you is just posting each day that you did the push-ups. And so we'll be doing that in the same format as we are doing the daily habits. And yeah, you guys will win points that way. So today we're gonna try to keep it pretty short because I know it's Halloween. But today we're gonna talk about like in more detail the 17 or so powerful habits, powerful steps that you can take to basically really speed up fat loss, improving your energy, improving your sleep, and sustaining those things for life. So, did you guys read in the guide those different habits and everything?
I have.
To be, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll have to go back and look because I don't remember.
Okay, that's fine. What about you, Andy?
Here's the deal. Like I've read the guide that you sent, and I think you've sent it twice. I'm having a little trouble like finding that water challenge. I didn't see that in there, just like this push-up one you're talking about. I'm not really sure where those are at.
Yeah, the water challenge was the first one that was listed. Then it's the push-up one, and then I don't remember off the top of my head what the third one is. I think it
I
was
think
just
it's,
any physical activity.
yeah, I think workouts, showing some workout.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll cover that later. So it's really easy. Like the water challenge was just listing how much water you drink every day, which was already
Mhm.
provided in your chart. And actually, I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see it. So you guys have already downloaded the habit tracker. So this is where you should have been notating your water intake. So it says if at least half of your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, then you should drink at least 100 ounces of water. So pretty self-explanatory. But is this zoomed in enough for you guys? Can y'all see this? The habit stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to be covering the reasons why these habits are so influential in fat loss, energy, sleep, all that stuff. So, why should you drink water upon waking? Well, for one, you have been sleeping, hopefully all night long. And so you probably have not been drinking water. At least you shouldn't be if you were sleeping well and staying hydrated throughout the day. So you've gone, 6 to like 9 hours without drinking any liquids. So it's really important that you rehydrate your body, especially upon waking. What that does is it helps to wake up your liver, especially a little tip here, if you add a little bit of lemon juice to your water, that really helps to wake up your liver. Also, dehydration, even if you are just mildly dehydrated at just 1 to 2% dehydrated, it can decrease your cognitive ability by 30%. That's huge. And your performance by 20%. So, if you drink water upon waking, it can also assist in waking you up for the day. Water is also very important for fat loss. If you're in a calorie deficit, but you're chronically dehydrated, it's going to make it harder for your body to flush out and expel whatever fat your body is burning. So that's really important. It also helps to kickstart the day for your overall water intake. If you're drinking at least half your body weight in ounces, you get like at least 8 to 16 ounces of that like checked off. So it helps you there. Why you should do a 5 to 10-minute morning walk in sunlight, especially before 10 a.m. This is linked to your circadian rhythm. So our body basically operates and is optimized by light and dark cycles. So our body essentially has this internal clock, which is called a circadian rhythm. And basically light and dark dictates what hormones are released in our bodies at what times and in what amounts. If your circadian rhythm is out of sync, then you can very easily potentially be excreting the wrong amount of hormones at the wrong times and the wrong amounts. You can be very fatigued, have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, all that stuff. So getting sunlight in the morning, especially before 10 a.m., helps to resync your circadian rhythm. It tells your body, because of the light receptors in our eyes, it tells our body, hey, it is daylight, it's morning time. This is when we should be producing the most amount of cortisol to not only wake us up, but keep us awake, full of energy, lasting throughout the day. So doing this can also help to resync your circadian rhythm to where it optimizes your hormones to be released in the right amounts at the right times, etc. Also, if you get this morning walk in sunlight, it also helps to prepare you for a better night's sleep that night. The reason being, again, is it tells your body to produce most of its cortisol in the morning, which if that happens, then your body is naturally going to want to produce most of its melatonin in the evening when it is dark. And that is what helps you to fall asleep and stay asleep. So why you should eat food in this order: eating your veggies first, then proteins and fats, then carbs and sugars last. The reason why is because there have been studies shown that when you eat your food in this order, even if it's the same exact food, so there was one group who ate food in this order, and then another group who ate food, their carbs first. It was the exact same food, exact same calories. And they find in all these different comparisons, even if they trade out different foods, that the group who eats their veggies first, protein, fat second, carbs and sugars last, they have a lower glucose spike in their blood and also less of an energy crash later on because of their blood glucose is less in this example. And all the other studies where they ate food in, the carbs first, all that stuff, they had a much higher blood glucose spike and much greater energy crashes later. So what this will do when you eat food in this order, because of the less of a blood glucose spike, it basically contributes to less fat gain, because the higher blood glucose spikes you have, the more it tells your body to turn that blood glucose and store it as fat. So this helps to prevent that and in a lot of cases negate that. So that's why you do that. And then also the energy crashes later on, it helps prevent that. A lot of people, they will eat a heavy meal or, they'll go on lunch after work and they come back from work and they feel fatigued and tired. And this can be a big factor why, is they're eating their foods in the wrong order, so to speak. So that's really influential there. Why you should eat protein at each meal of about 1 to 2 palm sizes. So protein is going to be really influential in not just your ability to build muscle, but also keep muscle mass. And that's going to be really important for whatever aesthetic goals that you have, and even for the aging process. And everybody should be eating, at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're relatively lean, and let's say you're 200 pounds, then you should eat 200 grams of protein. Now, if you're obese at, say, 300 pounds, and, your ideal body weight should be between 200 to 220, no, you don't have to eat 300 grams of protein. You should eat the 200 to 220 grams of protein every day. And so if you eat 1 to 2 palm sizes of lean protein, palm sizes being this right here, then that'll help you to preserve your muscle mass, even build your muscle mass if that's something that you're looking to do. It also helps to keep you lean and satiated protein is much more satiating than any other macro. And it also, so interesting fact, consuming protein in the digestion process, it actually burns more calories digesting it than is the actual calorie intake of it. So 1 gram of protein has 4 calories. But because it's so digestive intensive, it actually equates to only 2 calories per gram. Whereas, carbs and fats don't have a similar effect like that. So the reason why you should dress your carbs, if you are having a carb by itself, so let's say you're having a snack and you're like, I really want an apple. Well, what this means is, yes, you can have an apple, but you should dress it, meaning combining it with a protein or carb. So what's a protein? I'm sorry, a protein or a fat. So what's a good protein or a fat that you could have with an apple? A lot of people like cheese and apples. So basically it just means, dress your apple with, some cheese. Or, peanut butter and apple. Peanut butter is mostly fat. It's kind of a combination of fat and carbs. But if you combine that with your apple, that constitutes as dressing your carb. Now, why should you do this? This is the same concept as this one over here. The reason why is when you do this, you have much less of a blood glucose spike, much less of an energy crash later on, and also less or even no fat gain afterwards because the blood glucose spike isn't as high. So that's the reason why here. The 5 to 10 minutes of physical activity after lunch and dinner. The reason why you should do this, again, ties into this here and here. Studies have shown that whenever you do any form of physical activity, that after a meal, it does the same thing. It prevents less of a blood glucose spike and less of an energy crash later on, which helps prevent or negate any potential fat gain, all of that stuff. In fact, they've even found that in people who have diabetes, type 2 diabetes, that when they do at least a 5 to 10 minute walk, or 5 to 10 minute walk, it has much of a stronger and better effect on their insulin levels than metformin. I think that's the name of the medicine. So metformin is used to control type 2 diabetes. So they have found that this is way more powerful. Now, does this mean this is important for those of you who do not have type 2 diabetes? Yes, it still has the same effect on your blood glucose and insulin levels. And you'd actually be surprised, a lot of Americans, there's like a high rise in people who have type 2 diabetes, or even, like fluctuating insulin sensitivities. And a lot of my clients who come to me are actually surprised to find out that they are basically in those pre-diabetic ranges until we start getting them to do these things, and their fasted blood glucose gets way more in a much healthy range. Okay, so the reason why you should eat at least two handful of veggies. Sorry guys, I was sick during the weekend. I still have a little bit of cough. Is because, again, so if this is twofold, this helps with the whole blood glucose thing that we've been talking about. It also helps because we currently are not tracking calories. If you are following all these other things and eating at least 2 handfuls of veggies, it helps to basically fill up your stomach with more nutrient-dense foods that are not so high in calories. And so it helps you to be basically more conscientious of your calories without having to track them. They also provide more vitamins and minerals, all that stuff. So why you should eat 3 to 4 meals? Well, for one, you shouldn't be skipping meals. Especially long term. Like short term, here and there, it's not going to have that big of an impact. But if you're chronically skipping meals, you are more than likely under eating your calories. And when you under eat your calories for a long time, you end up slowing down your metabolism. So that's one big reason why we don't want you, we want you to eat 3 to 4 meals a day. This is going to be really important for women too. Fasting long term has more of a bad stress response on women than it does men. Men, you can be a little bit more flexible with this, but I still wouldn't really recommend fasting long term. And then also, if you're eating at least 3 to 4 meals, as well as following these other things, it's going to prevent you from having these huge, extreme hunger cravings and all that stuff. And when that happens, a lot of times you end up, at the end of the day, because you're so starving, you end up binging. So this will prevent all of those things from happening. This next one, did you eat when you got hungry? Again, ties into this, and the whole metabolism thing and all that. Eating to satiety, meaning did you stop eating once you were satisfied, meaning you didn't undereat or overeat. Again, because we are not tracking calories, and because, like, I'm sure none of you guys want to track calories for the rest of your life. So this teaches you basically how to, like, get in shape by eating more healthy and also keep your results for life. So yeah, basically it prevents you from overeating, which can make you gain fat, and also undereating, which can slow down your metabolism. Eating every meal slowly. So this is really big, again, in terms of us not tracking calories. Basically, it takes your brain like 20 to 30 minutes to figure out that your stomach is full. But if you are like engulfing all of your food at once and you just like chew it 1 or 2 bites and then you swallow it, you're going to end up eating a lot more calories than what your stomach feels that it needs and what your body needs, because it takes your brain quite a bit of time to figure out that it's full. So again, this will help with your immediate results in terms of getting leaner and healthier. And it will also tie into, like, once you reach your goals, that you're actually able to sustain it, because all of these habits are really powerful and they can be easily life sustainable, especially when you don't want to track calories for the rest of your life. This one, most of your meals, whole foods. So when it comes to fat loss, the biggest indicator of like losing fat is being in a caloric deficit, meaning eating less calories than your body burns or consumes throughout a day. So can you be in a caloric deficit eating junk food? Yeah, but is junk food as satiating as whole foods? No. Is it as nutritious as whole foods? No. And you'll also find it interesting to note that there was a study done that compared 2 different groups. One group, by the way, both groups ate the exact same amount of calories and macros, but one group ate only whole foods and the other group ate only processed foods, in other words, junk food. And at the end of the study, they found that the group who ate only whole foods, they burned more calories just by the different foods that they consumed. So if you're in a caloric deficit and you consume most of your meals whole foods, you can actually create more of a deficit by the foods that you eat without actually having to like manually decrease your calories. Your body just burns more calories. And so it can make your weight loss journey easier because you're burning more calories. It can also make it easier in the sense that you feel more satiated at and between meals, all of those things. So eating at least 2/3 of your meals at home, basically what this means is, so even if you eat out at a restaurant, and let's say you do order whole foods, like, you order steak and potatoes. Those are natural foods. But at restaurants, it's really hard to tell if they add any extra ingredients, like if they add oil or butter, or like any additive filler ingredients that aren't healthy for your body. So we do want to try to eat most of our meals home cooked for that reason. because eating at restaurants, because we don't know what other ingredients are put in it, we could be very much so underestimating our calories. We could accidentally be consuming ingredients that are detrimental to our health and our gut health, things like that. So this will help with your health journey and also your like diet journey in terms of getting leaner and all of that stuff. Finishing your last meal by sunset. So again, why this is important is it ties into your circadian rhythm. Our bodies are designed to work optimally during daylight, and that includes eating. This also ties into chrononutrition. Chrononutrition meaning the timing of your nutrition. So if you're eating during the day, when there are light hours throughout the day, your body is going to utilize those calories from food much more effectively and efficiently. Versus if you're eating only at dark hours, like let's say you work night shifts, it's going to interfere with your hormone production. It's going to interfere with how many calories your body burns from the food that you're eating. It's going to interfere with your insulin sensitivity. If your insulin sensitivity is low, meaning you're insulin resistant, you're going to be much more prone to gaining fat from the calories that you eat. So basically, you will get better results if you finish your last meal by sunset. Now, that's going to vary per location that you live in, per season. During the summer here in Texas, our sunset was around like 8 p.m. Now that it's fall in Texas, our sunset was like at 6:45 today. So they do have really cool apps that you can download that tell you when sunset is. You can even turn on an alarm that tells you. In fact, at the beginning of this live, I don't know if I was live at the moment, but it was definitely on Zoom. My sunset alarm went off, and that tells me that, hey, I need to finish dinner, and I also need to put my blue light blocking glasses on. So if you want to find more information about that, just do a quick Google search on chrononutrition, and it'll give you a lot of cool information on that. So almost done. So this one, turning on your blue light filter on your electronic devices and wearing blue light blocking glasses at sunset. Excuse me. Again, this ties into your circadian rhythm. Sorry, guys, like my throat is itchy. Let me get some water real quick. Do you guys have any questions on any of that?
No, I'm good. I understand it.
Awesome. Okay. So again, this ties into your circadian rhythm. So just like our bodies respond to the sunlight in the morning in a very specific and good way, so do our bodies to any form of light after sunset, especially like any electronic devices or like lamps. They basically give your body a false sense of daylight, especially blue light, which blue light is very stimulating to our brains and tells us that, hey, it's like midday or, something like that. And it actually turns off or greatly diminishes our body's ability to produce melatonin. And melatonin is what helps us to fall asleep and stay asleep. So these two things can be really helpful in preventing that from happening, helping you to fall asleep more easily, stay asleep more easily. And, if you're falling asleep easily and staying asleep throughout the night, that is really impactful in your body composition, in your hormones, in so many different things. There have been so many studies that show that even a slight decrease in sleep chronically, like over a long period of time, greatly impacts our hormones. It decreases testosterone, it decreases vitamin D production, it decreases progesterone in women. Basically it has a very negative health effect. So this will help you to sleep better, and which will also contribute you to having better health and energy and a physique. So the 1 teaspoon of honey pre-bed, this is important because, so an interesting fact, carbohydrates actually have a shutting off effect on cortisol. So if you were like, let's say you have elevated cortisol in the evenings, maybe you don't even realize it. Maybe you don't even sense it, but you have a hard time falling asleep. Consuming about 1 teaspoon of honey pre-bed, because of the type of carbohydrates, 1, it helps to shut off cortisol, so it helps you to relax. And 2, our livers actually do most of their work between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. So if you often find yourself waking up in the middle of the night between that time, it likely could be that your liver is waking you up because it's like, hey, I need like a snack because I don't have the fuel sources to do my work. So if you provide your liver with those carbohydrates, which are glycogen in this case, your liver can do the essential and powerful work that it needs to do between those times, which can also help to keep you asleep for longer and throughout the night. Okay, last but not least, we have in bed between 10 to 10:30 p.m. You can really, so I say in bed between that time because, you know, it takes a little bit of time to fall asleep. But there was a study done on like thousands of people in Europe, and they compared people who went to bed between 9 and 10 p.m. was one group. Group 2 went to bed between 10 and 11, and group 3 went to bed between 11 and 12. And they found the group that went to bed between 10 and 11, they had like the best body composition. They had a significantly reduced risk of cardiovascular disease. And when you look at it from a sunlight perspective, this actually makes sense. If you're going to bed between 10 and 11 and you're getting, you know, the minimum recommended amount of sleep, like 6 to 9 hours, preferably 7 to 9 hours, then you're waking up pretty close to sunrise, which again ties back into this, getting that sunlight early in the morning. So it's going to help with your hormones, your body composition, and your overall health and energy, because it again ties into your circadian rhythm, and our circadian rhythm is synced to everything from hormones to energy to how we sleep and so many different things. So yeah, did all of that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
Yes,
Awesome.
yeah.
What about you, Tom?
Yes, it did. It just took me a while to find the button.
Mhm.
During the
That's
day,
okay.
during the day at work, I have multiple these Zoom calls with different products. So
Yeah, I hear
yes,
you.
it made
You're
sense.
good. Awesome. Do you guys have any questions on that?
So it's just 1 teaspoon of honey, right? Not tablespoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you guys find most helpful?
Actually, the thing I learned, well, I learned a lot of things, but I thought was interesting is about the calories it takes to digest the protein versus the calories you put in.
Yeah, it's really interesting. What about you, Andy? What did you find most helpful?
I would say, well, one thing I know that I have that I could easily improve on is the honey. I mean, I usually put that on waffles because I don't like real sugary syrup and stuff like that.
Okay, nice.
So it's one of those things that I already have it, so I could easily do that. So I'll try to incorporate that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Have you ever tried 100% real maple syrup versus the synthetic, like fake stuff?
I do try to get the better ones. I don't know if it's 100%,
Okay.
but yeah.
Usually if it's going to be the maple, it says it'll say pure maple syrup on it
Yeah.
versus like Mrs. Butterworth or something like that.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
right.
Those are usually mainly corn syrup, I think.
Yeah, that's like the first ingredient.
Yeah.
What about you, Jules? What did you find most helpful? Oh, she says everything was helpful. Yay.
Yes, everything.
You gotta
Thank
pick
you.
something.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. What stuck out to you the most, Jules?
About the honey, that was, and I've been doing that except the last 2 nights, but that explained it more to me. I read a
Okay.
little bit about the benefits of it, but that was helpful how you explained it.
Awesome. I'm really glad. Yeah, it can make a big difference for sure. So how are you guys finding the challenge so far? You guys have been posting everything every day, so y'all have been doing great in terms of like points.
We've been doing, we've been posting.
Yeah, that's
That
what I
comes
just
and
said.
goes. It's like you said at the beginning, it's their habits, and habits don't happen overnight.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
like I forget the
Yep.
honey once in a while. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, all those things will definitely come with time, just as long as you're trying. And then also tracking makes a big difference. Like it's often said you can't improve upon what you don't track. And you guys are already doing it in the habit tracker, so you're already on your way in that regard too.
it's actually also kind of nice not to be tracking calories because sometimes just
Not yet.
you're guessing anyway what the calories are.
Yeah. I mean, you can learn to be more precise. And a good coach will teach you how to do that. But yeah. Jules says the tracker is so helpful. Awesome. I'm really glad. Well, I'm gonna check Facebook real quick, see if they have any questions. Those are you who are live on Facebook. If you have any questions, just type them up real quick. Meanwhile, those of you on the Zoom, do y'all have any other questions?
No, I'm good.
Awesome. So, because you guys joined the Zoom training, that means you guys qualify for winning a free prize. So let me just insert your names real quick. I'm gonna do the spinny wheel thing again and share my screen with you guys. All right, awesome. So I'm gonna shuffle y'all's names. Who wants to win?
Got a
Oh, wait.
1 in 3 chance of winning.
Right. All right, let's see who wins. By the way, just so you guys know for future reference, if you have already won in the past, and let's say your name gets drawn again, then I am going to spin it one more time. If your name happens to be chosen that one more time again, then I will give you
Then
that
you just
prize.
assume the gods are intervening, and it was meant to be.
Basically, yeah. If you get it twice in a row, then that prize is meant to be yours. All right, so let's see. And the winner is
Boom.
congrats, Tom.
Sweet.
So, I am gonna send you. Actually, let's just do it while we're on the live. I'm gonna pull up the picture of the prizes that you can win. So, share my screen again. Okay. So this kind of blocks it. Oh, let me see if I can zoom out. Nah, it won't let me.
No.
So here's a resistance band set. That's the one that's not shown very well, but which
Yeah.
which prize do you want?
Let's do the knee sleeves.
Knee sleeves? Okay,
Yep,
you
yep.
got it. So I'll send you the Jules, I forgot to send you the link to the resistance bands. I sent you the gift card this morning for the water challenge. So yeah, I'll send you the link to that. And Tom, I'll send you the link to these as well as the Amazon gift card to fully cover them.
Okay.
Cool. So yeah, you guys are doing great in the challenge. I think we had like 5 first place leaders as of today. So yeah, keep it up. if you guys have any questions or need help with anything, just let me know. And you guys have a happy Halloween. Be safe. And I will talk to you guys soon.
Yep. Hope you feel better.
Thank you.
See you,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
All righty, see y'all.